Will you pray with me, please? God, open our minds to know you, our eyes to see you, our ears to hear you, and our hearts to love you. Amen. Have you ever given somebody a present and didn't receive the reaction you were expecting from them? You spend hours alone in the creative machine that is your mind, embroiled in copious planning, expense analysis, and flawless execution of that perfect gift. And as the final stage comes, you carefully hand over the gift to your chosen recipient, almost as if you're parting ways with a small part of you. And then their reaction, the grand finale you've been crescendoing to all this time, arrives as they open it and you study their behaviors intently. And they don't respond the way you thought they were going to. There's an episode from the TV show Family Guy that illustrates this in comedic fashion. It's from an episode where Stewie, the family's well-spoken 1-year-old and talking dog, take a trip back in time to learn about the different world regions. And in the clip, Brian is explaining Buddhism and talking about how Buddhists control their emotions, or they don't show emotion or something like that. And so they're the worst people to buy Christmas gifts for. And in the scene, they do a flashback where one guy is giving his Buddhist friend, 2 guys are giving this Buddhist friend gifts. One of them says, I heard you needed a way to get around, so I got you a new Lexus. And the other guy says, I got you a tie clip. And then the Buddhist says, these are equal to me. And then the other guy goes, you kidding me? You don't even own a tie. Joking aside, though, we know that everyone shows their emotions differently. Not everyone is going to exclaim in joy. And when you become an adult, you learn that setting expectations for another's emotions is setting yourself up to be disappointed. There is simply too much beyond our control. But when we're little, this concept is foreign. I had a tendency to set these scenarios up for myself, often growing up. In 8th grade, I would spend hours studying the jewelry cases at those pagoda piercing stands while my siblings shopped. You know, the ones that sat in the middle as you're walking around. I would call it like the cheap jewelry. With all the insecurities and fragility of being a middle schooler, I would run through the varying scenarios of my girlfriend's reaction. I bought her a $75 diamond necklace, or at least the sales girls at the time told me they were real diamonds. And when it came time to give each other gifts, her reaction to my over-the-top display of puppy love was much more of a thanks, best friend type response. And in return, I got this oinking piggy keychain, to which my family still makes fun of me. But thank God for that oinking piggy keychain, because I was too intense, too young. But all children struggle with the handling of other people's emotions, and as we grow and experience new things, new relationships, heartbreak, and fear at the hands of others, we develop a strength to cope. As a behavioral therapist, I worked with traumatized and autistic children whose brains operate within extremes. They may be remarkably ahead of their years, almost superhuman in a few ways, in a few areas, while lacking in fundamental areas like identifying theirs and others' emotions. I would sometimes write these mock trials into a treatment plan before Christmas or a birthday where they would practice giving and receiving gifts, and then navigating thoughts and feelings that come with it. Although this may be more prominent depending on your age or makeup, we all struggle to identify and receive gifts and the emotions that come with that. And this is on display in our gospel reading from Luke today. Jesus, who was not known to be anything special yet at this point, was invited to preach a service. So he reads, "The Spirit of the Lord is on me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the prisoners and recovery of sight for the blind, to set the oppressed free, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And then in one of his classic mic drop moments, Jesus says, "Today the scripture is fulfilled in your hearing." Boom. Jesus is literally telling this group of people that he is the chosen one, the Son of God, the coming Messiah, and that everything is going to be okay. All their suffering, all their pain, all their worry, will now begin to start fading away dramatically as a new law of love is installed into the earth in the coming years. Did the people exclaim in joy, "Thank you for this gift you have given us"? No. In fact, if you read on into Luke, they were not only highly skeptical, but they were ready to throw him off a cliff. And this is Jesus' crew. These are the people that have actually seen him grow up. When I look at the world today, I often wonder if we sometimes repeat these tendencies just as our ancestors did. Are we able to receive good news? Can we receive a compliment without feeling uneasy? Are we living within the spotlights of truth, or are we bound by the limitations of an inaccurate perception of the world in which we live? Digging into research, in a recent comprehensive survey done by Our World in Data, people from around the world were asked, in the last 20 years, how has the world changed? And let's see how people did. Absolute poverty is defined as living on less than $1.90 a day. And when people around the world were asked how this changed in the last 20 years, 80% answered incorrectly. 52% incorrectly thought it was getting worse. 28% said it remained the same or didn't know, and just 20% knew that it was decreasing. Here in America, 85% answered that wrong. 51% saying it's getting worse, 34% saying it stayed the same, and 15% of us knew that it was getting better. And the truth is, it's not just gotten better, it's dramatically gotten better since the 1990s. Just 30 years ago, 2 billion people, or 36% of the world's population, lived in extreme poverty. Today in 2022, that number is 680 million. That's about a 75% decrease, with only a slight uptick in the last year. And most experts will tell you that indeed we are on track to eliminating extreme global poverty. Let's look at child labor, which describes the number of children in hazardous work conditions. When the world was asked how this has changed in the last 20 years, the majority, again, got it wrong. 61% answered incorrectly, 23% wrongly said that it was increasing, and 38% said it stayed the same. 39% knew that it was decreasing. Here in the United States, just 26% of us knew that it's decreasing. 74% thought it was getting worse. And if those aren't enough amazing truths about our world, here's some more fast facts. In 1960, the average family spent 18% of their total income on food. Today, it hovers around 8%. In 1990, again, this is only 30 years ago when I was a kid, the infant mortality rate was 62%. Today, it's cut in half, 29%. Violent crime in the United States in 1994 was 51%. Today, it's around 20%, with a slight, not statistically significant uptick from where it was last year. The average years of education for every major country on earth has steadily and significantly rose over the last 200 years. And there's also reason to be hopeful to the future, as many experts believe that the best possible education on earth will be delivered by artificial intelligence for free. And the quality will be the same for the son or daughter of a billionaire as it is for the son or daughter of the poorest parents on the planet. In 1960s, the teen birth rate was 89%. In the 1990s, when I was a kid, 60%. And today, 16%. That's quite contrary to the headlines claiming that our young people are hypersexual and irresponsible. So why does this all matter? Well, the truth matters because it affects how we view the world. The final two questions on the study was, do you think the world is getting better? And do you think the world will get better, worse, or stay the same? 6% here in the United States said that the world was currently getting better. 6%. 28% of Americans say the world will get better. 29% say it will get worse. And 30% says it will stay the same. So what is going on here? Instead of launching into the many reasons I believe this to be the case, and there are plenty, I'll leave you with the question so that you can draw your own understanding. And perhaps there are things in your life that you recognize. When you receive a gift, be happy that someone loved you enough to spend the time and sacrifice creating it for you. You don't have to show it in a way that's unnatural to you, but you should feel it. Carry the words of Luke with you as you go about your life, because they were created for you. What do we say when someone says, I love you? We say, I love you too. And our awareness of the beauty, the positivity of the world is like saying, I love you too, back to God. Amen.